Thank you, Mr. Speaker, members. I, like many of you, think this is a great bill, and I think it's going to do great things on a nonpartisan level to help protect children in the state of Texas. As the bill stands, digital service providers are required to make any data associated with a minor available at the request of parents. What my amendment does is it makes it easier so those parents that have a single parent, work full-time, it's kind of hard to request the data and then wait for it to come back and analyze it. I want to create a portal that any parent can log into and see what their child's doing live, and I don't think it's too much to ask versus having to wait for the data to come back, and I move passage.
The chair recognizes Ms. Lawson in opposition to the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We've worked for a couple of months to get to a place on this bill where we feel like we have good tools in place to allow parents to engage on behalf of their kids. We don't want to narrowly limit how a company has to do this. We want them to have a robust ability to empower our parents. So I respectfully request that you will vote no on this amendment and pass the bill as is. Thank you.
The chair recognizes Mr. Tinderholt to close on the amendment.
Thank you again, Mr. Speaker and members. I think today is a lot less about keeping the bill clean, and it's a lot more about doing everything we can to give parents access to what their children are doing. So the vote right now, I think, is about do we want a portal for parents to be able to log into and see what their children are doing, or do we want them to do a request and wait hours, weeks, or days? I move passage.
Speaker.
Mr. Bernal, for what purpose?
This gentleman yield for a question.
The gentleman yield for questions.
I will.
The gentleman yields.
How would internet service provider or a platform verify that someone is a minor's parent?
That's already in the bill. All of that data verifies that, and so you would be attached to their account.
Do you think, or do you worry that forcing them to create a portal, the spirit of which I understand, would not create another opportunity for adults to have access to a child's information by pretending to be or misrepresenting themselves as that child's parent?
I think there's risk in anything we do, but it would be the service providers. They would have to create this portal in a way that the parent that is attached to the account has access to the child. Now, if someone else gets that, it's just the same as passwords, right? So there's risk with everything you do, but do you want parents to, what if they mail this stuff to the wrong address? What if they email the data that's requested to the wrong email address?
Well, I think you just made my point, because you said if they get that, and the point I'm making is you're creating another way for someone to get that.
Well,
Thank you.
But either way, they can do that. So I move passage, unless you have a question, Mr. Dutton. I move passage.
Mr. Tinderholt, since the amendment is not acceptable to the author, the question occurs in the adoption of the amendment. A record vote has been requested. The clerk ring the bell. Show Mr. Smith voting nay, Mr. Tinderholt voting aye, Ms. Lawson voting nay, Mr. Wilson voting nay, Mr. Dutton voting nay. Have all members voted? There being 12 ayes and 127 nays, the amendment fails to adopt.